Imagine you're writing this massive, really complex report. You finally send it off to your boss, and then, like 10 minutes later, you realize you have absolutely zero memory of what you just wrote.
Just completely blanked.
Totally blank. Like if someone asked you a basic question about it, you couldn't answer. And the crazy thing is, according to this recent MIT study, that is exactly what happened to a staggering 83% of people who use generative AI to write a text.
83%. It's wild.
It really is. So, welcome to today's deep dive. If you're listening right now, you are probably feeling that, that weird modern mix of awe and, well, low-key panic about the future of work.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it.
Right. So our mission today is to really understand the massive seismic shift happening in the global economy right now. We've got a huge stack of sources to go through today.
We really do. We're pulling from economic history articles, an in-depth book review from the Kotwa Center, a marketing agency's perspective on AI, a YouTube analysis by Walid Taha, and this really recent study by the Kiel Institute.
Exactly. And through all of that, we're going to explain how economies actually evolve, why AI is totally disrupting the current landscape, the sort of hidden biological dangers to our brains, and most importantly, how you can future-proof your career. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it. To really grasp what AI is doing to our cognitive landscape today, we actually need to look backward.
Okay, backward how?
Well, we need to understand the mechanical forces that actually drive economic progress. We have to go back to an economist named Joseph Schumpeter.
Schumpeter, right.
Yeah, he was this fascinating Austrian-German-American economist, born in 1883 in Moravia.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and he had a wild career. He worked in Cairo for a bit, actually served as Austria's finance minister, and then later taught at Harvard.
That is quite the resume. I mean, from Cairo to Harvard.
Seriously. But what he's most famous for is popularizing this concept in his books. Specifically, his 1911 book, The Theory of Economic Development, and then his 1942 classic, Capitalism, Socialism, and Democracy. He called this concept creative destruction.
Creative destruction. I mean, it sounds like an oxymoron, right? Like a paradox.
It does. But in simple English, it basically means that capitalism and economic progress, they don't happen through peaceful stability.
Right.
They happen when entrepreneurs introduce new innovations that just completely destroy existing structures. They smash the old way of doing things to replace them with more effective models.
So the destruction is the point.
Exactly. It's the core engine of the capitalist system. It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Okay, give me a concrete example of that. Because we hear about things like digital photography completely wiping out the instant Polaroid camera.
That's a perfect example. Think about what happens there. It's not just that people stop buying Polaroid film. The factories that made the film close. The chemical suppliers lose their contracts. The whole supply chain is just...
It just evaporates.
Yes, it is violently freed up, and then that capital and labor gets redirected to build the new thing. And this creates what economists call long waves.
Long waves. Okay, so wait, let me try an analogy here. It's kind of like remodeling a house, right? Like you literally have to take a sledgehammer and smash the old drywall, make a huge dusty mess just to build this beautiful open concept living room.
Oh, that's exactly it. You can't get the open concept without breaking down the walls first.
So I guess my question is, all this pain, losing the old way of doing things, is it just the admission price for long-term growth?
Basically, yeah. The pain is the friction of the transition. And if we look at the Kotwa Center source, they connect this to what they call soft revolutions.
Soft revolutions?
Yeah. So if the steam engine and the printing press were past waves that, smashed the old walls, the wave we are riding right now is the third soft revolution.
Which is the internet and AI.
Precisely. The internet evolved from just basic communication to an internet of energy and transport, and now, with generative AI, it's an internet of cognition. It's automating the service sector.
And that's what feels so different this time. The sledgehammer isn't swinging at the factory floor anymore.
No, it's swinging right at the office buildings.
Yeah, because AI is doing routine tasks way faster than humans can. Like we're talking about secretaries, junior lawyers, accountants.
Right. And if we pull from the Kiel Institute study, the data shows exactly how this shifts old professions. They found that data analysts, software developers, and translators are highly exposed to AI.
Wait, software developers. I feel like for the last 10 years, everyone was told to learn to code to be safe.
I know, it flips all the old advice on its head. They're exposed because their tasks are really cognitive, but have low social interaction.
Oh, wow, that makes sense.
Yeah. Meanwhile, construction workers and nursing staff,
Yeah.
They're far less exposed.
Because you can't have an AI pour concrete on a muddy construction site.
Exactly. Or comfort a patient in a hospital room. But what's fascinating here is that AI isn't necessarily destroying entire jobs. It's automating specific tasks within a job.
So it's unbundling the job.
Yes, unbundling. And the World Economic Forum predicts that while, 75 million jobs might disappear globally, 133 million new ones will be created.
133 million, that's a huge net gain. But, I mean, those are totally different jobs, right? Like AI, ethics, or robotics. The person losing their data entry job can't just pivot to AI ethics tomorrow.
And that's the painful transition we were talking about.
Yeah. But okay, let's pivot to something that I think is even scarier than the job market stuff. Because it sounds great that AI can handle our boring, routine paperwork. I'd love to outsource my emails.
We all would.
Right. But if the machine does the heavy lifting, what is actually happening to our brains?
This is the cognitive offloading problem.
Yes. This brings me back to the YouTube source from Walid Taha, where he broke down that MIT study we mentioned at the start.
The 83% stat.
Yeah. People who used AI wrote 60% faster, massive productivity boost. But their cognitive engagement literally dropped by 32%. And then boom, 83% couldn't even remember what they wrote.
It's because of cognitive offloading. When you write something yourself, there's friction. You have to synthesize information, make decisions about words.
You're sweating a little bit mentally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that mental sweat is what builds the neural pathways. By over-relying on AI, especially, among the youth, we're losing our critical thinking, our creativity, and just our basic independent thought.
Wait, so let me challenge this for a second. Let me push back.
Go for it.
If we use AI for everything, do we just become like empty shells? Like corporate zombies who just click buttons while our brain muscles literally atrophy? I mean, we offloaded math to calculators and we didn't become zombies.
That's a fair comparison, but there's a big difference. A calculator does rigid, rules-based computation. Generative AI does synthesis and reasoning. If you don't engage critically with the information, you lose the ability to innovate or lead. You lose the context.
So we're offloading the actual thinking, not just the calculating.
Right. And the research shows that the people who use AI less heavily, who still do the mental heavy lifting, actually maintain their independent thinking much better.
Okay, so that leads us to the big question. If relying too much on AI turns our brains to mush, how on earth do we compete against a machine that processes data perfectly and instantly?
You compete by leaning into what makes you uniquely human.
Okay, I love this. This ties perfectly into the marketing agency source we looked at.
Yes, the agency perspective.
Right, because they basically said that AI is amazing at statistical prediction. It can recycle existing data in a millisecond, but it lacks a soul.
Exactly, it has no lived experience.
Yeah, like it cannot understand cultural context, it doesn't get local dialects, it can't feel the general mood of a consumer on a random Tuesday.
Exactly. It can generate text, but it cannot create genuine storytelling that builds trust. And trust is human.
Generating text versus generating trust, that is such a crucial distinction.
It really is. And the Kiel Institute actually declared this year, 2026, as a turning point.
A turning point how?
Meaning, using AI is no longer just a cool bonus skill. It is a baseline survival requirement in the workplace. But here's the key. AI won't replace a person.
Right. A person who knows how to use AI will replace a person who doesn't.
Exactly. That's the golden rule going forward.
So what does this actually mean for you, the listener? Let's get really practical here, especially for young professionals trying to navigate this totally chaotic job market. How do you future-proof yourself?
Well, the sources outline some very actionable advice. Number one, develop your soft skills.
Which feels almost counterintuitive, right? Like, shouldn't I be learning to code?
Not necessarily anymore. Critical thinking, problem solving, and emotional intelligence are now your biggest assets. In fact, one of the sources noted that the demand for social skills has actually increased by 5.2%.
5.2%, that's huge. Because the machine can't do empathy.
Exactly. The second tip is continuous education. And this isn't just about learning one specific software or trade.
Because that software might be obsolete in a year thanks to creative destruction.
Right. Education now is about learning how to adapt. You need a really solid general foundation so you can pivot when your specific industry gets disrupted.
Okay, so step one, soft skills. Step two, build a broad foundation. What's the third tip?
The third is about how you interact with the AI itself. You need to be the editor, not the bystander.
I love that phrasing. The editor, not the bystander.
So, Use AI as a tool to speed up your research or beat writer's block, but you must provide the final creative and ethical oversight.
You have to stay engaged. Don't let it do the final thinking for you, or you fall into that cognitive offloading trap. Right, you protect your brain. Okay, and the last piece of advice.
Stay flexible. Maintain a side hustle or have a solid backup plan because the market changes incredibly rapidly now.
Yeah, the sledgehammer is always swinging.
Always.
Okay, so let me quickly summarize all of this for you, the listener, because we've covered a lot of ground today. First, creative destruction is just a natural economic force. It drives growth by breaking down the old.
Yep.
Second, AI is shifting jobs, unbundling tasks, rather than just deleting entire professions. Third, over-reliance on AI will literally degrade your critical thinking and memory. And finally, your ultimate defense is blending technological know-how with your deeply human soft skills.
That is the perfect summary. It's a huge transition.
It really is. And as we wrap up, I want to remind everyone listening, the future isn't just something that passively happens to you, it's something you design.
Absolutely. And I actually want to leave the listener with a final sort of lingering question inspired by the Cutwa Center source.
Oh, lay it on us.
As AI continues to advance, we are risking a totally new kind of social divide. It's not going to be based on wealth or geography. It's the emergence of an aristocracy of intelligence.
Oh, wow. An aristocracy of intelligence. That is a heavy concept.
It is. It asks, will the future simply be divided between those who use AI to control and shape the world and those whose minds, memories, and behaviors are just quietly controlled by it?
Just coasting on autopilot. Man, that is, something for you to think about.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We will catch you on the next one.